Come on, make some noise. Come on.
All right, it's 8 o'clock at night on a Friday. We got the Shelby all loaded up. We're leaving Arkansas, headed down to Houston. It's about a 5.5 hour drive. We're gonna stay in a hotel, wake up in the morning, enter the Burnout competition. Okay, so some of you know that the reason that my truck was down for a while was because it needed a fuel pump. And this is the same one that I had last time. It's a Walboro 255, and the first one I thought went bad because the pump in the tank went bad and it starved this one that was under the truck. Well, I replaced it with this one, and this one lasted 400 miles and it started losing fuel pressure again. Started doing some research, and turns out people don't really like those and they have quality control problems. So on Holly's website, I bought an MSD, there it is, MSD 125 PSI EFI fuel pump, and we're gonna see if that works. We got to our hotel at about 3:30 last night, and we're about to head over to the Houston Raceway Park and get checked in. All right, we made it here. Build Tune Race is here. We saw him last night at the hotel in the parking lot.
lights. Might be a little warm.
As my buddy Jordan said, it's not cold. Let's hear it for the Shelby truck. Come on, make some noise. Come on. We're gonna need to push team here. Push team. Let's push this puppy off. Hop in there, brother. Honestly, dude, this is a solid ripper you got here. Did it blow up? Sorry, yeah, I can tell a little bit. All right, let's get this sucker pushed off.
Fire team.
Get this guy a job. Give him a fire extinguisher.
Get him one of that plastic fireman hats.
All right, you're good. Hop back in, brother. It might still slightly be on fire, but...
Alright guys, while it's quiet and I have your attention.
Hey brother, you're gonna hang it hard right.
After we run toast in the burnout pad, you're gonna want to get to the drag strip because the jet cars are gonna go down when it's dark to end the night. If you haven't seen the jets run at night, it is way better than during the day. They got big old flames coming out the back of them. You're not going to want to miss it. So after we finish off toast in the pad, you're going to want to get this in as quick as you can. We're probably going to run a few drag cars before the jet cars, but we're going to end the night. All right, we got the Liberty Wagon coming out.
Liberty Wagon never lets us down. This is a solid ripper. He tested it at our Freedom Factory burnout night.
Okay, we just made it back to our hotel. Cleetus and Cars, Houston, 2021. It was amazing. So here's a little rundown of what happened. I know you saw what happened. Or here's what I think happened. So basically, after talking to some people, they said the headers were glowing bright red. Well, that side's fine. This side looks like it got even hotter. You can see the paint is actually just completely flaked off. Now, that paint is rated for like 2,000 degrees or something like that. And what happened was the plug wires were never touching the header. Just a clarification there. I made sure that they would never touch, never had a problem. Well, they got so hot that even though they were just dangling here in the open air, they got so hot that it melted all the rubber off, or the insulation, if you will, off of the plug wires, and there's nothing but the metal core left. And it also, you can see what it did to the hose. It just melted the hose and just drooped it down. And that was that last little explosion you might have seen or heard. So the rubber, or the insulation, dripped onto the headers and then started a fire, and that singed the hose even more, and got that one a little bit. You see a little bit of fire damage there, some soot on the firewall, and the EFI wires are all toasty. Now, the last minute, the truck was at like 250, and I wasn't afraid to burn this thing down because I wanted to blow the tires. Well, about another minute goes by, I look down and I see 260. I look up, and I'm just like, okay, well, tires still haven't blown. I'm gonna keep going. About 30 seconds after that, I look down at the screen and it says rebooting, and it's starting to freak out. I'm like, oh, that can't be good. And then right after that, it starts to shut off. It starts to spit and sputter, and then it shuts off. And that's where you saw all the smoke coming up out of the engine and the grill, and then eventually they pushed me out of the way. So what happened, it burnt the wires to the EFI and the hoses, the plug wires, and who knows what else. And I don't think it has a blown head gasket or anything. There's no water in the oil, but it's definitely gonna need a little bit of work now. But that was an amazing time. You could just hear the crowd. They were just going insane over this thing. Of course, it's unique. When I took this in February of 2020, they got some people liking it, you know, but I didn't do that good. The truck had problems, but really redeemed myself this time. And I've had tons and tons of people coming up to me wanting to talk about this thing. And a lot of people didn't even know that Carroll Shelby was involved with Dodges and that they even made a Shelby Dakota. Well, a lot of people learned some new things tonight, gained some new subscribers. I really appreciate everyone who came out and talked to me about it, and appreciate the subscriptions. And we're gonna get this thing back home and take it apart, check it over really good, get some new plug wires and hoses, and fix the harness and put it back together and see how it runs, see if it makes any noise. I know it had good oil pressure still, but you know, you never know until you get it put back together really how healthy it still is. So that's it for now. One other thing, when the fire started, it completely burnt my air filter. That was something else that didn't go over too well, so I have to get a new one of those.